Dazzle here, and I'm so thrilled to be joining you for this pajama party. I'm in my pajamas, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about your scrapbook stash. So let's focus on one of the items in your scrapbook stash. How about alpha stickers? I have way too many alpha stickers. Does this look familiar? I totally need to go through this and purge a little bit. But I do have a couple tips I wanted to share with you today about your alpha stickers. So once you've used enough of your stickers that you can't really create a word anymore, I'm sure this happens to you, it does to me, kind of looks like this now. And there's not much you can do as far as, titles or whatever. So what I do is when it gets this way, I cut them apart, keep them on the backing sheet and just cut them apart. And I add them all together in this little basket. So I can just rummage through here and, find what I need. And the way I use these, I call them my alpha orphans. Okay, these are my alpha orphans. So the way I use my alpha orphans is sometimes I like to create a funky title that has mixed colors and styles of fonts. So I'll use it that way. Maybe in my journaling, I use them to emphasize certain words or phrases or maybe numbers or something. I also use them sometimes as masks. Like for example, on this scrapbook page, right here behind my title, I created a background. And what I did is I used some number orphan stickers and I put them on the paper, the white paper, and then I spritzed some gray misting ink over them and then gently peeled them off, and it created a cool look back there. So you can use them that way. You can, use them as kind of like a collage on a background of something and just place random colors and styles of fonts, stickers, alpha stickers all around. Or like I did on this card, you can, like what I did is I did them in alphabetical order, except I left off the U, and then on the inside of the card I put missing U and I put the letter U in there. So those are some fun ways that you can use up your alpha orphan stickers. And hopefully that helps you use up a little bit of your alphabet stash. And if you are interested in using up more items in your stash, I would invite you to take a look at my new class, Stash Busters Anonymous. It is now open for registration and class begins on August 8th, and we're going to have a blast. We're going to go through 12 different stash busting challenges. There will be prizes. There will be guest designers, and there will be tons of sketches, tons of videos, tons of printables, and lots of tips. So I hope to see you there and enjoy the rest of your pajama party.
Hi, it's Angie Lucas, not in my pajamas, here with you to share a quick tip for how to create a snapshot of your life right now, tonight, using words instead of pictures. But even better, we're going to use a quiz, which means that this isn't going to require any deep, introspective, difficult writing of sentences and paragraphs. You just have to answer 10 questions. So grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, and let me tell you what we're going to do. Now, the year I turned 33, I created a 10-question quiz that I answered on the last day of every month that year. So if you start tonight, you can do this on the last day of every month for as many months as you want to do this, because it creates a fun picture of what's happening in your life right now. Now, when it comes to quizzes, it does make a difference what kinds of questions you are asked, because if you have the right questions, they can reveal something about your life without being difficult to answer. Like that one question that I see all the time, which is, if you could pick one person out of history to bring back to life and have lunch with, who would you pick? Now, I think that question is really hard to answer, and it really doesn't say that much about you. But I have 10 questions that will say something about you. So here's my album. I just answered the same 10 questions for month to month. It's a 4x6 quiz. And you can actually download this on the Downloads tab of the Pajama Party Classroom right now, or we can just answer the 10 questions together right now. And I paired the 4x6 quiz with a 4x6 photo print that was either 1 or 2 photos. So really simple. You could also use this in a Project Life spread inside a 4x6 photo pocket. So it's also great for that. Okay, are you ready with your pen? Okay, let's speed through this. It's going to be fast. Number 1, the best thing about today. Maybe it's the pajama party. Maybe it was something else. Write down the first thing that comes to mind. Number 2, something I'm looking forward to. Maybe it's the next pajama party. Maybe it's a vacation. Maybe it's the kids going back to school. It doesn't matter. Write something down. Number 3, something I'm dreading. Could be the kids going back to school or a big project at work. Whatever it is, write it down. Number 4, the most inspiring event of the month. This can be big, it can be small. It can be a workshop, it can be a sunset you encountered on a walk. Anything that comes to mind is fine. Number 5, the nicest thing that's been done for me lately. Maybe it was a foot rub, maybe it was help with a project at work. Maybe it was something big or small, doesn't matter. Number 6, what I ate for dinner last night. This question I love, especially if you do the recurring quiz, because you can see if it's wildly different from month to month or if you're maybe kind of a creature of habit. Number 7, someone I'm thinking about today. Write down their name and maybe a detail or two about why you're thinking about them. Number 8, the last person I spoke to on the phone. Also include what you talked about briefly so that it gives you a little bit of context. Now this one will be especially revealing from month to month if you find that it's always the same person. Number 9, something new I've learned. It can be a fact or a tidbit that you recently picked up, or it could be some big insight into yourself or your life. Whatever it is, write something down. And number 10, one thing I love about my life right now. It doesn't have to be the thing you love most about your life, just one thing. On this particular day, I wrote the fact that I have the freedom in my day to enjoy the sunshine. So not a big thing, but it is definitely something that I love. Okay, so that was fun. Keep thinking about your answers and writing stuff down, and I hope that you'll also think about joining me in Grammar-Free Journaling, my 4-week workshop that is coming up in August. I have all kinds of fun strategies like this that will pull real details about your life that are concrete and meaningful, but not hard to access. And you don't have to write paragraphs and paragraphs. You can just answer a quiz, write a list, make a chart or a graph. There's all kinds of fun strategies. I have 12 in all with lots of layout examples. So join me in Grammar-Free Journaling, and I hope you have fun the rest of the pajama party. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, I'm Megan Anderson, and I'm so excited to be here in my pajamas at the party. I love memory keeping in all forms, from traditional to digital to hybrid to mini books. But right now, my very favorite form of memory keeping is Project Life. I'm going to give you a few tips for simplifying a Project Life process to make it a little bit easier for those of you who do it, and a few tips on reasons why you should use pocketed page protectors even if you're not a Project Lifer. Let's take a look and see what's on my desk. One tip is if you like to include traditional pages in your Project Life albums but don't want to be stuck with the traditional page on the other side, you can cut off the edge that goes in with the 3-ring binders and just tape with strong scrapbooking tape 2 pages together. So this side is pocketed and then this side isn't. Another great tip that I have is I love including inserts, and I always like them to be smaller than 12 by 12. So one thing I do often is cut down page protectors. So this was a design A, and these parts would be open, so I secured them with staples. I did the same thing with washi tape here on this one. And this one was sealed all the way down because it's a design D. So I could just cut that off, and then I'll probably use the leftovers from these inserts to make a mini book. And then one of my biggest tips is to use sketches to keep track of things, and this helps me to decide which photos to print. It also helps me when I'm printing out multiple weeks of photos at a time. So I have decided what's going in each of these spaces, and then corresponding over here I have what's going to go in there, so that when I get the photos back I can just slip them in where they go for when I have time to add my papers, embellishments, and journaling. So everything's all together and organized, waiting for me to make the pages. And you can see I kind of skipped ahead here on this one. I also want to show you non-project lifers a couple reasons to use pocketed page protectors. This is a layout that I made about my husband and his childhood, and I didn't want to scan these photos, and I didn't want to glue the original photos onto a page, so I just slipped them into a page protector and created what is otherwise a traditional page with one story into pocketed page protectors and using Project Life products. I also, one of the photos of him was smaller than 4x6, so I just slipped some pattern paper behind it so that it can be in there loosely and I don't have to adhere it to anything. Another great reason to use pocketed page protectors is if you have a lot of memorabilia. You can see here, this is about my son being born, but I have his immunization record so I can find it easily. I have the hospital bracelets and his doctor information card and all his little footprints, and it was really easy to make a page using all of this memorabilia because I have places to put them all. Another great reason to use Project Life products on a more traditional page is if you have multiple stories to tell. So here I have the same set of photos, and I had kind of two separate little stories to tell about my daughter meeting my son when he was first born for the first time. So the first story is on one card and the second story is on another card, and it makes more sense with the design of the page, and also I could scoot some memorabilia of the face mask that she wore in there too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those tips, and I hope that you'll give a few of them a try. And if you liked what you saw, you can join me, Elise, and Annette in our class Project Life lessons, which starts September 5th. Enjoy the rest of the party.